Hello and welcome to the morning show team of with Revsportz. Very good morning to all of you present. This is me Rohan Chaudhary and with me Boria Majumdar. Trisha Ghoshal will be joining also in a couple of minutes. Lots happening in Indian sports right now. Yesterday, Odisha FC got their first title in their history since inception. They won this Super Cup, defeating Bangalore FC 2-1. It has been great season for them. Uh, Clifford Miranda, the head coach of Odisha FC, became the first Indian head coach to win this competition. Murida, do you remember Clifford Miranda back that
Yes, I
days,
do.
airport days,
Yes, I
before
do. Yeah,
the
I absolutely do. And look at the story of Odisha as a state. They are fast becoming the sporting capital of this country. And this Super Cup victory, if you see, the chief minister started tweeting, the cabinet started tweeting, the administrative service like Vinil Krishna and people, they started tweeting. So look at the push that the sport is getting from the state. Fantastic to see.
exactly, and this Clifford Miranda winning this competition has been a separate, I would say, a statement because we are always behind foreign coaches, but Clifford Miranda has shown Indian coaches can also lead ISL team to a victory. He has been fantastic as a player, and this is his journey for coaching in Indian football. And East Bengal has appointed Carles Quadret as the head coach. We hope some good news coming up for the team. But moving on to the other news, the main has been the Jantar Mantar saga that started way back in January. We had stories covered from them. We had these athletes, Vinesh Foga, Sakshi Malik, and all coming in to our conclave, the Trailblazers conclave, has spoken on the issue, but has not really been resolved. We spoke to Sakshi Malik yesterday. Boria, your article is out. Your thoughts on the whole saga? We have heard Sakshi Malik yesterday. We will hear her today. But your thoughts on the whole saga that is going on?
Yeah, and there's Trisha as well. I mean, all of us were together when we did the interview, and these are Olympic champions. They are not athletes who are local athletes. One has won. Bajrang Punia has an Olympic medal. Sakshi Malik has an Olympic medal. Vinesh Fogart has 2 World Championship medals. So these are the country's best. They are the most decorated. Think about it. You, me, Trisha, we have stood up each time they have taken the podium. We have stood up because the tricolor has gone up with them. We have stood up because the national anthem has been played because of their achievements. And today, they are having to defecate in public urinals. They are having to use public toilets because that is the only way they have to sleep on the road for their voice to be heard. Look, we don't know the right and wrong, but this is not what India is about. I don't know whether they are right or the whoever is right. That right or wrong is a different story. But where it has come to, it shouldn't have. There should have been a resolution of some sort. People should have. There are powers that be. There should have been some kind of a. I mean, you don't want Sakshi, Bajrang, Vinesh, and people to sleep on the road in Jantar Mantar, right? I mean, they are the country's best. This is not the India that wants to host the Olympics of 2036. We are shocked. The world is watching us in shock that what is going on. And that is what pains me. And from what she was saying that the police refused the FIR. She was saying that they have leaked the names. She was saying that the coaches are now going to the girls, including a minor, and offering bribes to keep shut. Now, these are serious allegations. And once these allegations are being made, you need to investigate. And why would they say it in public? The Supreme Court of India, the Honorable Supreme Court of India, is hearing it on Friday. So let's wait and see what happens.
Exactly. And Trisha, as Sakshi was telling that there were no facilities for washroom, urinals. So as a woman, that is so much problematic in these situations. Uh, Talk to me about that angle and how difficult it is going for the athletes at Jantar Mantar right now.
Honestly, Rohan, I think that's the least of difficulties right now. Think of this: you are a woman, you have been sexually harassed by your coach or WFI official, and nobody is even lodging a complaint when you're trying to lodge an FIR. You were first asked to prove sexual harassment. I have no idea how do you prove that, and I think we have had this chat. How can you prove it is beyond me. But they are trying to prove it, or they are trying to register an FIR. Again, I repeat what Boria had just said. that nobody knows who's correct and nobody is going into it. The entire point here is we don't want to take, we are not understanding why this treatment is being met out. Sakshi has mentioned their food was not allowed initially. I mean, where is this going to? And why, most importantly? We should concentrate on the Olympics coming in 2024. We need everyone to concentrate on the Asian Games coming up. I don't see anybody doing that, because we are suddenly in this whole controversy. And as a woman not getting a proper toilet, of course, I mean, because it's not easy. I mean, women cannot just go and use public
Hmm.
urinals, and public urinals is still fine, but women cannot go anywhere, and you use toilets. So I honestly don't understand. I'm as shocked as anyone else that why are these treatments being met out to them,
Hmm.
whereas it could have been solved, with meetings. I guess so. I mean, with meetings, with a committee being formed. So all I can say is, we hope that, because there's a minor involved as well. I mean, the whole
Hmm.
situation is pretty sad.
Well, Buryada, Trisha rightly mentions the Olympics coming up, Asian Games coming up. That affects the mentality of the players also. I'll come to you on that. But before that, let's hear our what Shakshi told in our Trailblazers conclave about giving proofs. You can't give proofs to the situation. So, Swapnil, can you please play that bite
बस
from
कैसे
Shakshi?
भी हो ये लड़ाई हमको जीतनी है, क्योंकि अब वही मुझे तो यही बात बहुत पिंच करती है कि प्रूफ लाओ वरना तुम गलत साबित हो जाओगे। तो इस चीज़ के बारे में तो मैं क्या बताऊं, प्रूफ कहाँ से लेके आएंगे हम।
जैसे सीता को बोला जा रहा था, यू गिव योर
हाँ,
प्रूफ ऑफ योर प्योरिटी।
मतलब कोई वही बात है कि आप प्रूफ दे दो कि आपने आज तक कुछ नहीं किया है।
Exactly.
तो बड़ा दुख लगता है इस चीज़ को लेके कि सीरियसली इतनी सालों की हिम्मत जुटा के हमारा एक ग्रुप इकट्ठा हुआ है, बजरंग, मैं, विनेश, दीपक, रवि, हम सब बैठे वहाँ पे कि नहीं अच्छा करना है, आगे कुछ हम आगे अपनी रेसलिंग के साथ बुरा नहीं होने देंगे। फिर भी अगर नहीं सुना जाएगा तो ये कोई फेयर चांस नहीं, फिर फ़ायदा क्या हुआ हम इतने बड़े मेडलिस्ट का वहाँ प्रोटेस्ट पे बोलने का।
Exactly. So they are asking for proofs for sexual harassment, and that is so devastating to see. And Boryada, coming to you on that, this word proof for this matter, and how does it affect the mentalities of the players? They are not getting proper food during this time. No practice, no training. The Asian Games is coming up, Paris Olympics. So talk to me about how this has a chain reaction going forward in this sport.
Let's be objective. I mean, this whole issue of proof, that will be asked of any one of us. If today we want to go and file a complaint, we will be asked of proof. And that's legal, because otherwise I can just go and make a complaint against anyone and get away. Okay? Having said that, they are trying to go and file an FIR. As independent citizens of India, free citizens of India, if Trisha wants to file an FIR, she has every right. Take that FIR, go investigate. If a minor is filing an FIR, there's a law. If a minor is filing an FIR against someone, there is a law that FIR has to be taken and then the person has to be investigated, arrested, whatever it is. There is a law. This country is not an anarchy. There are laws that govern this country. This is the world's largest democracy, for God's sake. These are independent Indian citizens, decorated athletes, decorated champions. If 7 of them had gone to that police station in Delhi to file an FIR, why would the FIR not be filed? That's question number 1. Question number 2. Fair enough. You did not file the FIR. You wanted them to come on Monday. Today is Wednesday. So it wasn't done. What is abominable is, why were the names leaked? If these women, are now being subjected to mental torture, these athletes are on record saying some Mahavir fellow and Rakesh from the WFI are going to their houses and offering bribes and threatening and whatever it is. How on earth is that going to be allowed? How can the police, who are protectors of this country, how can they leak names, including that of a minor? You can't. You don't want to take the FIR, fair enough, but you have to respect people's integrity and keep things in confidence, right? That wasn't done. Why? And that is what is shocking me. That if they're trying to prove, they're trying to give you proof, going there and wanting to file an FIR, there is no reciprocity there. That okay, there is a legal process, there is a judicial process, there is a process of investigation which will be duly followed. Why is that not happening? And then the third point, which Sakshi mentioned in that interview, is when they went to the committee and deposed Mary Kom, who's a decorated athlete herself, and she said, I'll give you justice. Then why is that committee report not public? Why is it that the committee report has not been made public? It should be made public so that there is public debate. Grapevine has it that WFI chief has been given a clean sheet. Why should the Grapevine have it? Let it be put out in the public domain. Let these wrestlers come and say, oh, you know what? We didn't say this. They are saying that WFI chief's testimony was not recorded. Their testimonies were recorded. Why? If this is the case, then it is a case of double standard. Then Mary Kom should come out. Mary Kom should come out and tell us, no, every statement is recorded. We have it on record. If it wasn't done, then why wasn't it done? Why is Mary silent? She's a decorated athlete. If Sakshi and Bajrang and Vinesh are claiming that they promised justice and they were in tears when they heard the story, either they are lying or Mary is lying. Then one person is not telling you the truth. Both can't be truthful. So who is not telling us the truth? Somebody has to say that. Mary Kom, by keeping silent, is actually not doing justice to herself or to this country. The report has to be made public with immediate effect. The FIR has to be lodged because an investigation has to happen. Supreme Court has now taken up the case, and there's nothing bigger in this country than the Honorable Supreme Court of India. So, these are things that I'm bothered by. That the point that Trisha made about food, for God's sake, they are independent citizens who are protesting. You mean to say their food can't be taken to Jantar Mantar? Are you nuts? I mean, and then it's home food. For the people who are part of the family have got the food. How can you stop that? I mean, this is not colonial India where Mahatma Gandhi's protest is being stopped by British rule. This is independent India, for God's sake. So these are issues that have rankled me, and that interview, when people see, they will see for themselves. Trisha was spot on when she said it's a sad state of affairs. And by the way, the media is covering it. We are in front of the world. The world is watching us. That this is the India. This is how they treat their athletes. This is how they treat their women. Sorry, this is not the idea of India that we stand for.
Exactly. And on that note, Tisha, India has a future plan of hosting the Olympics here, but this state of affairs will portray to the world this is the current state of sports in India. What do you think of that? And this mental state of the athletes going through, they have Asian Games and Paris Olympics coming up. How will this affect them?
See, that's the point, which Boria is also saying. You're putting the athletes through, let's say the athletes are wrong for a second. Then just finish the investigation, give the reports, and get over with it. This whole drama is not needed, Hear them out, put the committee report out. You're dissolving the committee. What does that mean? You have suddenly said the 7th May elections now are, null and void. What is see, the problem is we are also confused what is happening. There's no clarity. There's almost no judicial laws followed here. First, you don't take FIRs, then you leak names. God knows what are you trying to do. And think of this. You are going to present, Mrs. Ambani, Abhinav Bindra, all are working towards presenting India as a country that can host an event which is big as Olympic, and that would be big for India. Think of the number of jobs, think of the number of people that will be positively affected. And in all this, what are we showing? That we are a country where we cannot even hear athletes' grievances. Forget about solving them. The minimum, the bare rights are not given. We are projecting India as an unsafe country for athletes, which is not a good show in front of the world. And now, athletes who are supposed to practice for Asian Games, how many months left for Asian Games? End of September? They are sitting there in Jantar Mantar. Yes, you might argue that some of them might not be the best, might qualify, not qualify. Nobody cares. For that, you need minimum mental peace. You need them to practice. Instead of that, how funny it will look that after such a show at the Olympics, at the last Olympics, suddenly in the Asian Games, we have no medals. Suddenly, in the Asian Games, we don't get any medals in wrestling. We got in Commonwealth Games. All this is not helping India in any way. In the world stage, suddenly we are slowly going down when it comes to sports. And that is not the best show when you are trying to get Olympics here. It, and all you need to do was just take an FIR. I mean, it wasn't even a big deal. Every day, somebody or the other is registering an FIR. All you needed to do was take the FIR, then investigate. How difficult is it?
Guriela, final thoughts on this saga before we move on to IPL and all, IPL and other stories.
See, final thoughts. There has to be some story that we are not knowing, right? What is that story? Is it interference? Is it pressure? What is it? Because tell me something. I mean, as Trisha said, the athletes are wrong. Come out and say that. The athletes are wrong. There was no case of sexual harassment.
Exactly.
The WFI chief is clean. He's got a clean chit. He will resume duties. Matter over. You have all of a sudden decided to disband the WFI, saying elections are null and void. Why did you not do that in January? All of a sudden you recognized that. 4
Exactly.
months, January, February, March, April. So for 4 months, you did not think the election was null and void. So all of a sudden, the election is null and void. What is the new pearl of wisdom that you all of a sudden got? Where did you get that from? Is this an attitude, an attempt to placate? We don't know. The problem is there are far too many unknowns here. And we at Revsportz, we are not interested in taking any sides. We have given Sakshi a platform, Vinesh a platform. At one point in time, Vinod Tomar a platform. We are happy to give the WFI chief a platform. Come to our platform and tell us. We are not taking sides. But the questions that are being posed by Sakshi, FIR not taken, food not being allowed to sort of get to the athletes, names being leaked, athletes who have gone to register the FIR being threatened. Is she lying? Then tell us she's lying. So that we can go and cross-question her that, hello Sakshi Malik, you are lying. But if she is making these allegations, Vinesh is, Bajrang is, then counter them or accept them. There can't be a midway, right? Either food was not allowed or was allowed. Either the police refused the FIR or took the FIR. Either the police have leaked the names or they have not leaked the names. There can't be there's a midway. That, oh, you don't know what, no. This is, it can't be. It's either black or white. So did the police leak names? Question for the police. Let the police personnel come out of that Chandni Chowk police station and say, this is all rubbish. What are they saying? So fair enough. But that also is not being said. There is a hushed silence. That is my problem. My problem is people's integrity is being questioned and people's rights are being violated. And who are these people? They are the most decorated athletes of the country who have met the Prime Minister, the powers that be when they have come back with laurels. They're not normal people. They're celebrated people. If India can't take care of its celebrated people, then what are we talking about in this country as far as the world's largest democracy and rights and everything goes? That is sad. We need a resolution. Immediately we need a resolution. Whether it is in favor of the athlete or not in favor of the athlete is a different proposition. But someone has to come and resolve this. Take them with them, sit them down, get something done. Because this is not the India that you need to project to the world.
Exactly. And as this Honorable Supreme Court has taken up the case, we hope it gets resolved pretty soon. And talking about IPL, last couple of minutes, we don't have much time left on our show today. GT Mumbai yesterday. Mumbai, again, a heavy loss. Trisha has been saying this, the lack of consistency for Mumbai. Muriada, your thoughts on this lack of consistency for Mumbai, as Trisha has been mentioning over the last couple of days. Your thoughts on this point?
They missed Jofra Archer bad. The last 4 overs yielding 70 plus runs. Jofra had gone to Belgium for a minor operation, has come back, and again will possibly play on Sunday, is what I know. So he wasn't, obviously sort of going back and forth with Jofra Archer. And that is a problem because you needed a Jofra Archer at the death with that extra pace. Cameron Green went for 20 odd. And then all of them, Jason Behrendorff went for a lot of runs. So that death bowling, that's where the match changed. Till the 15th over, Gujarat was 130, 125, something like that. So if it could have gone to 180, 185, there was match on. That extra 30 runs that Gujarat got in the last 4 overs killed Mumbai Indians. And then look at the spell of Mohammad Shami and Hardik Pandya at the start. They got movement. They were able to swing the ball, 7 overs for 42, one Rohit Sharma out. That is when the match was done. Noor Ahmed and Rashid Khan, yes, important, but it was before that. I would say the opening spells of Mohammad Shami and Hardik Pandya that actually killed the match for Mumbai Indians. They need to get their act together. Gujarat now number 2 in the table along with Chennai. Mumbai need to get their act together, get Jofra back, get their batting together, and time will run out soon because it's 3 out of 7. There's a middle table clamor, 3 out of 7, 4 out of 7. So still, anything, frankly, even Delhi and Kolkata can come up with 2 out of 7, a couple of wins, and it will be an open table. So it's halfway, and anything can happen. But yes, Mumbai need to get their act together pretty fast.
Exactly. And on that note, Trisha, our balanced performance from Gujarat, you would say Shubman Gill, Abhishek Manohar, good with the bat, David Miller, and with the ball, Rashid Khan, Noor Ahmed. So your thoughts on Gujarat as a collective unit? They won yesterday?
Absolutely. I think best part about Gujarat is, as Boria mentioned, their opening, not only opening bowlers, but the opening batters as well. I mean, Shubman Gill has been firing well, and yesterday, and when you have someone in the top order performing well, which is what is not happening for for the lower order teams. If you see when you're talking about a DC, a KKR, or Mumbai, in all these three, yes, David Warner has performed, but he's the only one who has performed in the entire batting lineup, and then there's Akhtar. With KKR, the opening combination has been changed, but it has not worked, honestly speaking. And then even Mumbai, Rohit and Ishan have given good starts, but one of them haven't really gone on to convert that start into a 50-60. When one opener doesn't convert it into 50-60, then the middle and lower order are under a lot more pressure, and they're exposed pretty early. That's what happens. And then with Gujarat, of course, their bowling, I would say Shami has been outstanding throughout the season. He is a good bowler, but the way he has bowled in the power play with so much control, he has not given an inch away to the batters. He has pushed the batters continuously. And then Hardik, whenever he bowls, see, Hardik also uses himself very, mindfully. He says that if there is something on the pitch for him, he bowls. And of course, spinners, yes, but as Boria said, they had already, when you're chasing a target of 200, unless in the 6 overs you are at 70, 80, then you're constantly, catching up. So, and Abhinav Manohar, he was fantastic. Though, you know what, Abhinav Manohar has the reputation of being a good hitter. So I'm not surprised, but he was hitting the ball really clean, and that really David Miller and his partners.
That was an important note also.
Yes, absolutely. Because honestly, I thought Gujarat would be ending up with 160, 170. Suddenly, in the last 1 or 2 overs, it just went out of Mumbai's hand, and once it was 200. Mumbai's batting lineup, even I was wondering if they can chase it or not, because Mumbai's batting lineup honestly hasn't given you too much hope.
Exactly. And Swapnil, can you please play that picture that I just sent you from today's match, and we'll talk about our last few comments on today's match before we end. Swapnil? Yes, there you go. Sukumar and Ashok, the two super fans from Bangalore and Kolkata. Ashok is from Noihati, I think, and he has traveled all the way to Bangalore for the first time. He was telling for the first time, I'm really very excited standing at the Chinnaswamy. So, Boryada, what do you think of today's match? What are your expectations? KKR needs to win this to stay in the competition. So, your thoughts on today's match?
Absolutely. I mean, Kolkata has to win, because now 2 out of 7, and if you lose this one, then you are obviously not going to make it, and you will know that. So, and that's pretty bad. So, and Chinnaswamy will be a high-scoring game again. So, what does Kolkata need to do is the question. And one thing that Trisha said was spot on. They need to get their batting order right. Jason Roy, number 5. Is that the correct call? Jason Roy, for all his life, has opened for England and has won them matches. Even last night, or 2 nights back, got a 60 of some 25-30 balls. Why don't you get him at the top and get that start? Sunil Narayan has been batting like the worst he has ever had in his life, right? First ball out. So you're continuously going with Sunil Narayan and you're actually giving a wicket away without anything. Now I understand that Sunil Narayan 20 runs of 10 balls, and we've also said that in the past that it's a punt. But clearly it's not working, that punt. You've tried that punt and it's not working. So, whether you want to do that, what is the role of Andre Russell? Coming in at number 8, is that, or number 7, is that Andre Russell's real role? Is he contributing there? A 20 odd of 10 balls and out, 30 odd of 15 balls and out. Are they genuine contributions at all? Because he's clearly unfit. He can't bowl more than 1-2 overs and then he pulls up. So what is the role of Andre Russell? Is he playing based on reputation? So Kolkata Knight Riders has a lot of questions that they need to answer in their own mind, and that includes combination. So you've got to get that right, because look, Faf du Plessis and Glenn Maxwell are having the season of their lives, right? So you have to stop Bangalore. But after Faf and Maxwell, Bangalore too has nothing in the batting order. Virat, Faf and Maxwell. Virat, last couple of games, not so much. Maxwell and Faf every game. But it's top 3. More you get the top 2 out, and then all of a sudden there's a void. So that's where Kolkata needs to come in. Start with the Narayan against Virat, because if there's one problem, that's the problem. Start with a Suyash. Who knows? Faf du Plessis has never played a Suyash Sharma. So you've got a surprise element there. Do something, get the top 2 out, you're in the game. But you've got to think out of the box and not get Russell at 8 and Jason Roy at 5.
Yes. Trisha, in all the RCB games, you have not been optimistic with RCB, but today's game, are you optimistic to see RCB getting a win, or do you think KKR will have a surprise element waiting for RCB at the Chinnaswamy?
See, if you are an RCB fan, you would know you are never supposed to expect. Whatever is coming your way, you're just supposed to accept it, It's 15 years of experience, guys, So, but I just wanted to add a little to what Boria said. I am not really someone who has an issue with Sunil Narayan opening. My problem is, if you are opening with Sunil Narayan, then your other opener cannot be Narayan Jagadish, because both of them are horribly out of form. So you are basically saying you take our top 2 wickets, we don't care. That cannot happen.
And where's the power play?
Yes, you can send a Jason Roy with Sunil Narayan, because even if Sunil Narayan gets out, you have a Jason Roy. Because Venkatesh Iyer has been performing, but Nitish Rana on and off. Rinku Singh, every day you're not going to expect him. Yes, Rinku Singh hits sixes. You can't expect him to do it every day, because that's difficult, Again, if your lower order has to do a lot, you are behind the game. RCB has had the middle order and lower order of RCB has been ridiculous. The way they have batted is nothing short of ridiculous. But where they have saved games, the fact that top 3 have already scored. They get out in the 15th, 16th over. By then, you are already 160. So that's a total you have already set. You do not add much to that 160. We have seen they hardly had 19-20 runs, the rest of the batters. But you're already 160. Add 20 runs to it. It's 180. Even in Chinnaswamy, 180 means 9 runs per over, Rohan. 2 good overs, 3 good overs, and the batting team is under tremendous pressure. The other thing that RCB has brought onto the plate this time is Suyash Prabhudesai, the last match, Mahipal Lomrod, the match against Delhi, the runouts. Runouts, the way they have fielded, the way Siraj has bowled. These have been the factors which have helped RCB win. But in crunch matches, this cannot be the way, You have to fix your number 3. I understand. You can send Glenn Maxwell when Virat and Faf has played really well. Otherwise, send him at number 4. That is fine. But do you go with Mahipal Lomrod? Or do you go with Anuj Rawat? And Suyash Prabhudesai is supposed to be a pinch hitter. You're not sending your pinch hitter on time. So RCB also needs to work on their combination, because right now, of course, it's over dependent on Kohli, Maxwell, and Faf. And do not forget that A, Chinnaswamy is small ground, and B, Virat hasn't scored for 2 matches. So suddenly Virat will have this animated thing about himself. He has been captaining though. The other point I think I wanted to mention is Nitish Rana is not a captain material. That you can see with his use of bowlers, Whereas Virat, if you have noticed in the last match, he actually asked the player to go 1.5 step. He said 1.5 step here, and that is exactly where the next ball went for a catch. That precision
That's
helps.
experience.
Exactly, that's experience, that's precision, and Faf also has it. Faf also has that experience. They have done well. I think that has worked in RCB's favor, but of course RCB has to take care of their batting lineup. You cannot depend on three people.
Okay. So we are way past of time, but we are the 2 final minutes I would take from you. The WTC final squad has been announced yesterday, and we have been waiting to see that. Ajinkya Rahane getting into the team, KL Rahul or KL Bharat for the wicketkeeper. So that has been the point of discussion from the squad. Your final thoughts on that, and we'll end it here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so my first point is Ajinkya Rahane's inclusion should not have anything to do with his IPL form. If anyone says it's based on IPL form has nothing to do with the World Test Championship. Number one, it is based on the fact that Ajinkya Rahane has the experience and also did the domestic grind. Now, you might say he did not have the greatest of domestic seasons, but he did go back and did get runs against Hyderabad, for example, the double 100, then he got a 191. And Ajinkya Rahane is also one of the better slip fielders. So Ajinkya Rahane adds that balance that you were missing. Now, you might say, oh, bringing Rahane back is a step in the backward direction. All that is nonsense. It's a one-off match. The fact is, it's a one-off match and you need to win that one-off match. All this philosophy doesn't win you test matches. It's what you need for the course, and the captain and the coach and the selectors have done that. Good call. Whether or not Rahane will play, we don't know. But the fact is, if KL Rahul keeps wickets, it opens it up. And then it allows for that extra batter to come in because Rahul will then fill that gap. So I do think that they have a chance, and I would absolutely go with KL Rahul as wicketkeeper. Because KS Bharat in England against an Australian lineup, as a batter, just doesn't stand a chance. So Bharat's keeping, how much better is he compared to KL Rahul at this point? So I would go with KL Rahul as wicketkeeper, and I think Rahane does stand a chance to play in that final. If you ask me, the combination is something one needs to dwell on, but I think the team that they have selected is the right team for the WTC final. This is the best possible team that India could have chosen in the absence of a Rishabh Pant and in the absence of a Shreyas Iyer and of course a Jasprit Bumrah.
Okay. So Trisha, I think you have the same thoughts. Anything you want to add on this?
I think people are making a big issue out of Sky's exclusion. The problem is we completely, at times when we are analyzing, we completely forget the objectives. It's just a one-off test match. It's not like Indian selectors have said, we are not looking at Sky, he can go to hell. No. They have just selected for one match and it's a final. So you have to play your best 11. End of story. You have to play your best combination. In England, you need as many batters as you can because the ball will swing, some will miss. So I think, and you're missing key players. I definitely agree with Boria. KL Rahul should keep, and Ajinkya Rahane should definitely, and also do not forget his experience in England. He has played county cricket there. He has performed well in England. So all the more reason to include him because Shreyas Iyer is not there in the middle.
Okay. So thank you, Boria, for joining. Thank you, Tisha, for joining. We have lots of stories coming up. We have Sukumar and Ashok from Chinnaswamy, and we hope KKR gets a win today. Tisha is wearing purple, and Boria is wearing gold.
Jinxing strategy.
That's a jinxing strategy. With jinxing, we have won the World Cup, the FIFA World Cup, as Argentina fans. But that's all for now. Thank you for joining. We have lots in store coming up. Do follow our social media handles and websites for all the updates. Thank you. We'll be back tomorrow.